just gives you that endorphin rush in the morning that you need. I don't know if that's the right word. Is it endorphins? It's probably endorphins.
Yes, adrenaline, endorphins.
Sure,
it's
whatever.
amazing.
It makes you feel great. You do the mini. I do Wordle. Those are the only two things that I like. That's it. That's
you don't understand.
That's my happiness.
It is so important to us, and they're taking it away. They're putting it behind a paywall.
That's grimy. The
It
New York
hurts
Times
me.
is like a street corner hustler. Get them hooked with a little taste.
I need my mini.
Why don't you do a trade machine? That could be fun.
I need the mini. Come on.
You're going to have to go to the pawn shop to get enough money for the mini.
Free the mini.
Free the mini.
Or start another company to compete with it.
Start my own
I don't
mini.
want to. I just want the mini.
Go mini.
The smalls?
The smalls. All right, next.
So you guys are headed to Milwaukee next week, which is exciting. That'll be fun. My parents are in Milwaukee currently doing some pre-scouting for you guys, I guess. Do Brewers fans know that they're the best team in baseball? Because my parents were at the last two Phillies games, and the attendance of those games is shocking when you're watching it on TV. It looks like you're watching a St. Louis Cardinals game, honestly.
Damn.
I mean, it's like I get that it's a midweek game. I understand that it's a day game and stuff. But 26,000 fans, that's what you're getting for the best team in baseball and a top 5 team in the sport as well. Come on, Brewers fans, we can do better than that. Don't be the Cardinals fans.
Hold on. Cardinals fans are making a statement intentionally. Their team is bad. They're saying this is not up to our standards. So we're voting with our dollars. We're letting ownership know that this.
And just like that, the Badgers are back in business.
I mean, it's just a big party here.
Win or lose, welcome to the best after party in the state. This is the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day Postgame Show, brewed by Coors Light on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. Alongside Riley Jauch, here's Corey Sparks.
Hey, y'all having a good time out there?
Big win for the Badgers as they shake off a slow start to trounce Middle Tennessee 42-10 at Camp Randall Stadium. Welcome into the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day Postgame Show, brewed by Coors Light. ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day is presented by Coors Light. When you need to refresh on game day, choose a beer that's as cold as the Rockies. Cold filtered, cold lagered, and cold packaged for peak refreshment. When the mountains are blue, you know what to do, and that's crush a Coors Light. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Riley Jauch here live at Liberty Station in downtown Madison. Josh DiMaggio back at the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio in downtown Milwaukee. And Josh, it was a tale of two halves today. So I just want to jump right into it. Big question on my mind right now. Were you more encouraged by the way the Badgers were able to end that game and end up dominating the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders, or more discouraged and concerned that this is the same old Luke Fickell teams we've seen the past couple of years by another slow start in year 3 against a very inferior opponent?
I think I still am a lot more discouraged than I am encouraged. I think when you're playing a team as bad as Middle Tennessee State is, you have to play better. You have to come out better. You have to look better. You have to look the part. And there were so many times throughout that first half where it looked like the Badgers might be the inferior team on the field. And that is a simply shocking thing for me to have to say. Now, there were good signs in the second half, and I expected it to be a lot more rip-roaring mad coming in here this evening. There were good signs. I thought Danny O'Neal looked pretty good there throughout, well, let's say, the majority of the game. But the strange part to me was the defense looked inept and lost. The offense seemed uninspired. The offensive line didn't really have much going for it. I mean, Middle Tennessee State didn't convert a third down. They were celebrating it on the broadcast today in their first game, and they were playing an FCS opponent. And then they go against the Badgers team, who just had a shutout last week, and now we're back to where we were with the Badgers. It's a slow start. It feels sluggish. It feels uninspired. And you come back around, and they get the win. They cover the spread. Those are all positive signs. And frankly, at halftime, which felt like it took about 6 hours to get to halftime.
These Fox broadcasts, man.
And I know it's especially worse for us right now because that first half was a slog, and you're having all these bad thoughts go through your mind, and you're wondering, like, are the Badgers about to go down to Middle Tennessee State? So it feels like it's taking even longer. Halftime feels like it takes like an hour because you just want more action to happen. You want something to improve. I don't know where I stand. I'm going to be honest, trust tree here.
Okay.
I sent a text message that said fire Fickle at half.
My gosh.
That's
you
how
and Hunter Vaughn.
That's how upset I was. I still think there's a lot to figure out and a lot of questions to be asked about what the heck goes on when it comes to playing games for this team. But in the end, we did see some encouraging signs, I think, on both sides of the ball, and I'm sure we'll talk about that with all the people here throughout the course of the show.
Yeah, and you're definitely not alone when it comes to those who were chanting Fire Fickle, sending out the Fire Fickle text. I'm in a Wisconsin Badgers group chat on Twitter. I'm in some group chats with several other Badgers fans who are friends of mine, and there was lengthy discussions about who the next head coach of the Wisconsin Badgers should be, and that just shouldn't happen. And for anyone who's listened to the Jump Around on ESPN Madison, digital show streaming live every Thursday at 12:30, Jim Rutledge, Pablo Iglesias, well-produced show, or this show last week, or the Barry Alvarez show, I am probably the most insanely optimistic Badgers fan of all time. I am bullish on Luke Fickell. I still think he's the guy, but I wrote down in my notes as I was watching this first half, specifically that first quarter, that may have been the worst quarter of football I have ever seen the Badgers play in my life. Given the opponent, given the situation, they were bullied. Like you said, they looked like the inferior team at multiple junctures. This is a Middle Tennessee squad that got pasted by an FCS school last week, Austin Peay. They were outgained 117-42. In the first quarter. They were out-physical. They looked unmotivated. And it was just atrocious. It was painful to watch. And where I'm standing right now, we're in year 3 of Luke Fickell. I am still on the Fickell train. I believe in him. I think he is the guy. But why is this still happening? This can't continue to happen. If you want to beat the best in the Big Ten, if you want to beat anyone moving forward on this schedule, this gauntlet of a schedule, you can't play a terrible half of football and expect to just come roaring back in the second half. I'm glad we're a second-half team, but you can't come out that listless, that lifeless when you had a chance to really make a statement that this team had turned a corner and was different in year 3 of Luke Fickell.
The major problem with that first half is if you're playing even a mediocre level football team, you're getting waxed. You're down multiple scores. You're searching for answers. You're in desperation mode. The fact that it was Middle Tennessee certainly helped the Badgers here.
Yes.
The problem is even like with the way the Badgers played in the second half, they might have been so far behind to even, an average Big Ten opponent that they wouldn't have had a chance to come back. That's how bad things were in that first half. And it could have been a lot worse had Middle Tennessee not done some things to help the Badgers out also along the way.
Some more dropped interceptions, that Danny O'Neal, some maybe ill-advised throws, but continue.
Yeah, it feels like it's coming to a head here, and we all anticipated this when we saw their win total coming into the season. We saw the opponents on the schedule, but we're not even there yet. And the sad part is I can't even say I'm shocked by this performance. I was frustrated. But did I think, well, I've been down this road before. I've seen them play down to their opponent and be in games that they should be well ahead in. None of this comes as a surprise to me, and I think that's the most fundamental issue. What I do want to do here is send out the talk and text line, 800-990-3776. If you want to send us a text or get into the show and give us your opinions, please go ahead and do that. I will be manning the phone, so just give me a second here while I answer them. But I would love to hear where other people are, because Camp Randall booed that team off the field.
It was loud. It was loud through the broadcast. And like you said, you weren't surprised. This was one of the first lines from play-by-play broadcaster Eric Collins, who does play-by-play for the Hornets. I love him. He gets so excited. Love listening to him call Badgers games. But one of the first things he said, coming into the second quarter, Badgers trail Middle Tennessee 3-0. Mild surprise to see Wisconsin losing in this one. What are we doing? Where are we at as a program where the fan base is calling for the head coach's head in the middle of the first half? The broadcasters are saying, yeah, it's not too shocking to see Wisconsin trailing to the worst team in FBS football right now heading into the second quarter. It's just incredibly frustrating to watch. I am optimistic. I did love what I saw coming into the second half. But we'd be remiss if we didn't acknowledge the very, very rough start. And Josh, 800-990-3776, the Carbless talk and text line. Joshy, man in the phones. If you had to give one big take, what was your biggest takeaway from this game?
My biggest takeaway was, if I could do a positive and a negative.
All right, let's hear both.
The backup quarterback, Danny O'Neal, I think is an upgrade from what the Badgers had in years past and what we've seen. There was some work to be done, but that's why you end up being the backup quarterback. But I did think there was overall positive, and he did overall get the team there. And my second big takeaway was the offensive line, and I know there's injuries along there. They're going to have some trouble against some of these Big Ten teams and some of these higher-ranked teams because they didn't look good enough against such inferior opponent, and that's what the Badgers make hay off of. So I'm afraid for Danny O'Neal if he, or Billy Edwards, whoever has to be back there against Alabama just next week.
Yeah, we'll see who ends up playing quarterback for the Badgers against the Crimson Tide. I have three quick thoughts for you, Joshy. Let me know there is a little overlap here. But the sluggish start, you can't have that. That's number one. If the Badgers want to take that next step under Luke Fickell, which I'm confident they can, and it seems like they're right on the cusp so often, they need to start fast, and they especially will need to start fast next week in Tuscaloosa. Number two, you just mentioned it, Joshy, bad offensive line play. It was just atrocious. The last 2 years, I wrote this down, Phil Longo's offense. We had an offense that was built for a QB, and we didn't have a competent quarterback at the helm. This year, we have an offense that's centered around the offensive line. It needs a good offensive line to run, and what we saw from Grimes, there were a couple questionable play calls in there, but overall I loved the way he called the game today. It's built for the offensive line, run through the offensive line, and we have a porous offensive line. They're not great right now. They've been shuffled around. We've had to switch. Riley Mahlman had to switch from right tackle to left tackle. Kerry Kadenko had trouble with the snaps today. Just not ideal. We need the offensive line to play better. And three, the definition of insanity is expecting the same thing over and over again, or doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And I feel like this Badgers team in the first half was driving me insane because I keep expecting them to come out and just throttle a bad team, come out fast, come out firing. And they proved me wrong every single time, or at least so far in these past 3 years. But that's not to say there weren't tons of positives to take away from this game. We'll get into more of that next. We want to hear from you once again, 800-990-3776, the Carbless Talk and text line. Joshy DiMaggio back in the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios. We'll be taking your phone calls. We want to hear from you, positives and negatives, and potentially some of your calls coming up next. But first, let me tell you about Brunner Realty. Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. For over 30 years, Brunner Realty has been providing excellent real estate and property management services in the Madison area. Contact their team at BrunnerRealtyInc.com to get started today. That's BrunnerRealtyInc.com. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day on ESPN Milwaukee, ESPN Madison. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Post-game reaction continues next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, presented by Coors Light.
Looking to transform your home with stylish furniture and home accessories without breaking the bank? At your local IKEA in Oak Creek, they believe everyone deserves a beautiful and affordable living experience that enhances your everyday life. From comfortable and fashionable sofas and sectionals, to kitchens full of inspiration, to bedrooms designed to help you find your best sleep and relaxation, IKEA's home furnishing combines form and function to fit any lifestyle and budget. Visit IKEA Oak Creek today or explore their collection online at ikea.com/US.
For your next night out, revel in the fusion of artistry and flavor with sushi at St. Kate, offering guests an elevated experience where freshness and creativity converge in every bite. St. Kate the Arts Hotel introduces an exciting new sushi menu to its culinary repertoire. Indulge in the finest seafood, freshest ingredients, and expert craftsmanship for an inspired and delectable dining journey. Experience the art of sushi at St. Kate and learn more at stkatearts.com.
Grand slams and walk-offs. If you haven't jumped on the bandwagon by now, what are you waiting for? Siding Unlimited is Milwaukee's very own national champions. That's right, Siding Unlimited installs windows, and we do it really well, earning the prestigious Pella Platinum Premier National Certified Contractor of the Year award 5 times. New windows? Our expert team will deliver on a smooth, hassle-free installation, making you feel proud of calling Siding Unlimited for your window project. What's the next step? Call 262-567-4513 or go to sidingunlimited.com.
Pull up to Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee and shoot your shot at big wins for Sweet Ticket September. Play with your rewards card for entries. Score triple on drawing Thursday. Win slam dunk prizes like cash, reward plate, and tickets to see the Milwaukee Bucks in action. Sweet Ticket September. You ready for this? Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
It's ESPN Milwaukee's Brad Nortman here with some exciting news from my friends at Bank 5-9.
Not only have they been named a top workplace for 16 straight years, but they've just won the prestigious Community Choice Award as the best bank in the Milwaukee area. Honestly, I'm not surprised. Not only do they have great products and services, but they truly live out their mission to make lives better. If you're looking for a true local community bank, check out the best. Visit bank59.com to learn more today. Member FDIC.
We are the keepers of the wild, America's original and most invested conservationists. For more than 80 years, we've been committed to conserving wildlife and the natural landscapes that define our nation. From rugged alpine ridgelines to peaceful tall grass prairies, we've supported the conservation of more than 36 million acres of American wildlands. Our funding has led to cleaner water, fresher air, and improved wildlife habitat. From abundant fish and waterfowl populations to robust deer and elk herds, nothing is more important than maintaining wild spaces for adventurers to explore and wildlife to thrive. We are America's hunters and target shooters, stewards of the American outdoors.
America's hunters and target shooters, along with firearm, ammunition, and archery manufacturers, have invested more than $46 billion to help state fish and wildlife agencies manage and protect wildlife and wildlands across America. For more information, visit outdoorstewards.org.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen. Tune into The Rich Eisen Show weekdays from 12 to 2 right here on 94.5 ESPN.
You're listening to ESPN Milwaukee on 94.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Welcome back to the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day Postgame Show. The Wisconsin Badgers 42-10 victors today over the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders. Save money and save the planet. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar, your local solar energy company based in Madison. Visit everlightsolar.com to learn more and make the switch today. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Riley Jauch with you live from Liberty Station. Josh DiMaggio back in the Gruber Law offices. One Call, That's All studios at the Avenue. Corey Sparks, our typical main host, chimed in on the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube chat. He nailed it. He nailed the final score prediction. All power to him. He called it 42-10. He is currently out on assignment this weekend. Maybe he'll call in later. We'll see if he has time for us. But he'll be back next week. I will be gone next week. I'll be down in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, as the Badgers get ready to face the Crimson Tide. Really looking forward to that. But now, Joshy, We've got the negatives out of the way. If you still have negative thoughts, please feel free to let it rip. But I want to get into the positives right now. I have some, but I want to hear from you first. What were your biggest signs of encouragement, things to build upon for this team now heading into just a brutal stretch really the rest of the way?
I was encouraged by Lance Mason. I was surprised to see a 100-yard game out of him. I thought also the wide receivers seemed like they showed up to play sort of as an entire unit, which is not something you can always say. I think Vinny Anthony and Tretch Kakahuna are both players that, you know, if you have an offensive functioning the right way, can be useful. So I was encouraged by that and the fact that if there is a return of the starting quarterback, that the second string doesn't feel so bad, where I think in years past, the downgrade, and it's hard to even say how much of a downgrade in years past it was from starter to backup. And it's hard to say now, frankly. But it seems like there's something more there than we're used to. And I thought thrust into a spot where he probably wasn't expecting to play just 2 weeks ago. I thought he performed well. I mean, 23 of 27, you've got the 1 interception, 3 touchdowns. That's a good showing from a guy who, you know, did start at San Diego State last year, but is only a sophomore.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Joshy. And the moxie, I mentioned this last week. I think the biggest thing, like, he's slinging the pill with confidence, with a little pizzazz, and you need that kind of attitude as a quarterback, and especially when you're filling in for a guy who was expected to start the entire season in Billy Edwards Jr., and I love seeing that from Danny O'Neal personally. He was my biggest positive, great attitude, and I don't want to hear him compared to Braden Locke ever again. We got so many of those texts last week because of a subpar showing, arguably a subpar showing last week by Mr. O'Neal. But just because he wears number 18 and isn't the tallest guy in the world doesn't mean he isn't a capable quarterback. He's significantly better than Braden Locke, in my opinion. Number 2 also had the wide receivers and tight ends. Vinny Anthony is just always open. Tretch, he had some incredible catches, some vision, especially on the pass that was nearly intercepted against Alabama. They mentioned it on the broadcast. Probably gets intercepted last week. But Tretch, he had the big 60-plus yard scamper. All the receivers, or all the 3 main receivers, Vinny, Tretch, Jaden Ballard, all had huge plays. You mentioned Lance Mason. He looked fantastic. Even Jackson McGowan had a nice catch and run afterwards at the end of the game in the final drive. It was just sensational all around. These wideouts are legit. And Jeff Grimes, I thought he called a very good game for the most part. He was scheming guys open. By the end of the game, there were some holes. The running game was getting going, and he adjusted. They weren't getting a push up on the front. They couldn't run up the middle, so he started running on the perimeter with the wide receivers and the jet sweeps, and I'd love to see that.
I'm glad you mentioned that because that was the one thing I had left out of mine. That was encouraging, and Middle Tennessee was clearly selling out for anything up the middle. And he saw that, he read that, he adjusted to that, and that's sort of what burst the game open there, which is the one thing when it comes to the coordinators of the past that I don't know if that happens. I feel like we might kind of get in a slog.
Longo does not do that.
Yeah, we kind of get in a slog. We do what we do. The adjustment and then the success of it was a good sign and something that I was encouraged by.
Yes, I totally agree, Joshy. We're in lockstep there. And now let's see if Scott in Fort Worth is in lockstep with us. We missed you last week, Scott. I know you call in typically every single week, every year, so we really appreciate it. How you doing today, Scott? How you feeling?
Scott, are you there?
Scott, hello?
Hold on 1 second. Let me try this one more time.
All right, well.
Oh, no, he dropped off. We do have another caller that we can go to right away that you're very familiar with. We got our friend Hunter Vaughn here.
Oh, boy. Hunter Vaughn. What? He was sending some angry texts during the game. Mr. Vaughn, how are you doing? You were at the game. I know you had some good seats. What was the atmosphere like in Camp Randall, and how are you feeling?
I mean, I'm going to start negative because I want to end the call positively with you guys.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
That first half was abysmal. I sent you guys a text. So my wife and I were sitting in Section C, which was about the 20-yard line behind the Badgers bench. Halfway through the first quarter, the assistant coaches had to gather the offense together and give them a motivational speech. That is inexcusably bad. I've never seen Badger football ever need that.
And that is something, Hunter, you know this.
Yeah.
Hunter, you know I'm a staunch Fickell supporter, arguably the staunchest. That's on coaching. You can't.
Yep.
You have to have your guys ready to go, even against the Middle Tennessee. Continue.
Well, so then it's just hard for me to get that out of my mind and say, yeah, you know what, Luke Fickell's the guy. This coaching staff, they're the right choice for this job. When if you can't get your guys up for Middle Tennessee and have them ready to go, why should I think you're going to be ready to go to handle Big Ten play, going on the road at an SEC team, being able to handle a playoff atmosphere, which Luke Fickell and Chris McIntosh said is the standard for this team? I just don't know what I'm supposed to do with that.
Yeah, they talked about it on the pregame show this morning. The new standard should be, if the Badgers want to just get back to what they were, not even if Fickell doesn't end up elevating the Badgers past what they were with the peak Chris years, peak Alvarez years, it's a playoff berth. So if this team can't get to the point where they're making the playoffs under Luke Fickell, I think you can argue it was a failure of a hire. I don't think we're there yet, though. Josh, any thoughts on Mr. Vaughn's commentary?
No, I'm pretty much in line with him. Hunter is a little more heated up right now. I think I got that out of my system, but I can't launch a single argument against what Hunter said thus far.
Now, I mean, I'll go to the positive because otherwise I'm just going to sit here and just keep bashing the coaching staff for not having 20-year-olds fired up to play college football at a Big Ten school, which is still mind-boggling to me that I even have to say that. The positive was Jeff Grimes got Danny O'Neil into really good position. I never felt like he was in a spot where he couldn't handle it or being asked to make throws that he couldn't make. I felt like they designed that offense this week to really fit him well, and he was really only put into tough spots because their backup center, at being a Big Ten center, apparently can't snap the ball 6 yards back and hit his quarterback in a reasonable spot. So, that was really encouraging for me. I feel really good about Danny O'Neil. I still think he's the best backup Wisconsin's ever had.
Ever?
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
I feel like Danny O'Neil
if you want to
might
argue
be able
Alex
to do a
Hornibrook
Johnny
was a backup.
Manziel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next week against
Danny,
Alabama.
I feel like could go out there. Yeah. I think Danny could go out there and pull a Johnny Manziel and just run around, keep offensive plays alive long enough when the O-line eventually lets him down, because that's all I've seen from the O-line is they're going to let your quarterback down when it's Wisconsin. And he might be able to make a couple plays, catch, stretch deep down the field because he gets loose, or Vinny Anthony gets loose and the defense loses him, because Alabama's clearly not the disciplined Alabama team that we've seen in years past. He's going to be the reason why Wisconsin's in that game at all, because the O-line's definitely not going to be able to do it.
Yeah, and the playmakers on the outside as well were fantastic today for the Badgers. We hit on those in our breakdown of the positives we saw from today's game. Thank you, Hunter. As always, we appreciate your insight. I'm sure Josh looks forward to talking to you on Monday. I don't know if you're going to hit this on Mr. Irrelevant, which you can tune in to on the ESPN Milwaukee and ESPN Madison YouTube channels, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, streaming live at 12:30. So, Hunter, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening on Wisconsin. Hopefully you're feeling better now.
You're welcome, guys. I am feeling a little better that I got that off my chest. And I'll be honest, Josh, unless something goes horrifically wrong for the Packers, I'd be shocked if we talk Badger football on Monday. I'll just be honest for the Badger fans.
Correct. You are 100. We are in lockstep there.
All right, sounds good. Appreciate the call, Hunter. 800-990-3776, the Carbless Talk and text line. Your way into the show, I heard that Scott in Fort Worth is back. Scott, how are you doing tonight?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. Appreciate it. I don't know. I'm disappointed in them. I know they wound up winning, up big, but in that first half, they didn't generate any movement off the ball at all. They couldn't even run the ball up in the middle. And I'm just thinking about the glory days of Alvarez. Like, I remember when we could just run the ball up the middle and you hit it anytime for a 60-yarder, and those days are long gone. That offensive line is absolute trash.
Yep.
And then, like, to Hunter's point, I was talking to my wife at halftime, and they had just put up that 7 on us after that pick. And I'm like, look at the energy from Middle Tennessee State. They're hopping around and dancing around and fired up, and then the Badgers are just kind of lumbering into the, like a little girl with a skinned knee. They're just there's no energy. It's deflating, and that's on Fickle. And I'm not a fan of Fickle at all. He's on thin ice with me right now because I just don't see. Looking at the schedule, I was kind of running the schedule. I don't see another win this season. Maybe Maryland, but that's it.
Wow.
I mean, I'm just looking. I'm like, no. I mean, I just don't see it. I'm trying to be realistic tonight, but I just don't see it. My positive out of the game was at least they adjusted at the second half, and I'm like, well, where was this the first half? Slinging the ball over the middle of the tight ends and things like that. But they got absolutely no push up the middle. All their big runs came on the perimeter when they attacked the perimeter, and guess what? You're not doing that against Alabama. You damn sure ain't doing that against Big Ten teams. So I am not optimistic, my man.
Thank you, Scott.
We'll see. Call. Yeah, appreciate the call, Scott. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. Always fun to hear your voice.
There is one thing
I don't just. Okay, sorry, Josh.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll go ahead here. The one thing I will say is I'm not quite as pessimistic as I don't see another win on the schedule.
Yeah, I think that's ridiculous, Scott. I understand you're disappointed, but I would definitely not go that far.
There is one thing I will say on that, though. The first half, the Badgers played bad enough where they could lose to everybody else on the rest of their schedule. I don't think that's going to happen. But if you come out like that in the first half, in some of these other games, even some of the more lowly opponents, you're going to have a hard time fighting back. And things might change. The quarterback might be back, and the offense might look a little better. But that offensive line not being able to stand the test against Middle Tennessee has me worried and has me thinking they're probably going to be holding on to their seats there for some of these games come later in the season.
Yeah, that's fair. And I hear what you're saying. I hear what Scott in Fort Worth is saying. But we do have to remember as well, Kevin Haywood went down in the offseason with an injury at left tackle, and he has NFL aspirations. He is going to be phenomenal next season when he's back for the Badgers. Also, our center, Jake Renfro, was injured today. Didn't see him, and Jim Polzine tweeted out at one point in the game that there were a lot of bad snaps in camp when Renfro was out, and Kerry Kadenko, those showed up again today. But we have some more callers. We'll get to you all on the other side. Appreciate you tuning in and sharing your thoughts. With Celebrations Entertainment, planning events has never been easier. They have complete event services for weddings, corporate events, nonprofit events, outdoor movies, casino nights, and much more fun. CelebrationsEntertainment.com to get started today. Head over there. Celebrations Entertainment, fun, memorable events. We'll take your calls, your texts, more on the other side. 800-990-3776, the Carbless Talk and text line your way into the show. Josh DiMaggio, Riley Jauch with you live from Liberty Station. You're tuning in to the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day Postgame Show.
Postgame reaction continues next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, presented by Coors Light.
All you have is one chance after an accident, one decision on who to call, one shot to get the help you need. Don't waste it on the one offer you get from your insurance company. Make the one call to Gruber Law Offices. It's the only one you'll need to make. Call us today. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Your current car, soon to be your old car. A new car? Better start looking. But you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with free credit score and score monitoring on most new consumer checking accounts. Because when you know you need to make a big purchase, knowing your credit score puts you in the driver's seat. You've got this with free credit monitor from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Get ready to say goodbye to those bland seltzers at the ballpark. Carbless is proudly Wisconsin-born, crafted by real people. A husband and wife team who wanted better cocktails in a can. They're locally made and blissfully better. Carbless offers a bold, true cocktail flavor that's made for baseball fans. Available in fan-favorite flavors like lemon lime, black raspberry, cranberry, and mango, bringing the craft cocktail bar to your seat. Refreshment that matches the energy of American Family Field is Carbless. Full of flavor, no sugar, and no carbs. Just game day bliss.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here, and the Pickler Menominee Falls is now open. Your home for pickleball. 9 premium indoor courts with unlimited play, leagues, tournaments, and clinics all included in your membership. Sign up today for open play spots or check out Learn to Play sessions and clinics. Members get 4 clinics a month included. Memberships start at just $119 a month. Check out all the options at thepickler.com. That's PICKLR.com. And I'll see you on the court.
The power of friendship has spawned a memorable baseball season in Milwaukee. When you choose to work with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, the relationship is more than what feels like having a friend. Pella honors trust and commitment on your behalf, before, during, and after the sale. They take those values to heart with every person the Pella team works with. It's natural to feel a little apprehensive about having someone visit your home, but take it from me and my wife. The brilliant Pella designers immediately put you at ease with their experience and professionalism. We love that initial visit, along with how easy they made it to envision bringing our project to life. Pella is committed to being the company everyone wants to do business with, and they've certainly lived up to that and more. And with this month's incredible deal, Gina Della from Pella is here to share why you shouldn't wait to order new windows and doors.
Order today and get 0% interest for up to 60 months. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Ends 9/30/2025.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. American Family Insurance can help protect your dream home for whatever comes next. You can live in your own oasis or your own clubhouse. Whatever you choose, get the right coverage. Save up to 23% by bundling home and auto. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Back to school means back to savings with Exterior Pros and Baths. Right now, get $3,000 off your roofing, your siding, your windows, or your bath project during the fall savings event. Don't wait. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com to claim your $3,000 savings and book your free estimate. Exterior Pros and Baths, Wisconsin's trusted home improvement experts. Trust the pros.
We don't just cover the green and gold. We cover the green and gold. Your home for Green Bay football talk on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
This is the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day Postgame Show, brewed by Coors Light. Riley Jauch with you here live at Liberty Station. Josh DiMaggio back in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 42-10 victors today over Middle Tennessee. One of our amazing partners here on ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day is Gordon Flesch. For over 65 years, Gordon Flesch Company has been providing cutting-edge technology for companies of all sizes as the nation's largest Canon and Lexmark dealer. That's business technology managed. Visit gflesh.com to learn more. 800-990-3776, the Carbless Talk and text line your way into the show. And now we go to Michael in Janesville. You are live on the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day Post-Game Show.
Yes, hello.
How you doing today, Mike?
Good. So I just wanted to say that I think that Wisconsin has lost their identity mainly through Luke Fickell and the air raid offense. So historically, Wisconsin was a hotbed of NFL recruits on the O-line and as running backs. And, you know, really quarterbacks and, you know, talented wide receivers, they just haven't been able to recruit them historically, because why are you going to come to a school who's run first? And we don't see the high-powered running game, like with Monte Ball and Jonathan Smith, Melvin Gordon, where you see these just big explosive runs on offense because of a strong O-line. And I think they're, lost their identity in terms of how they're recruiting and with Luke Fickell. And I just think that, it's not Wisconsin football. And, now we're at the bottom of the Big Ten because of expansion, along with eliminating the divisions, because Wisconsin was always, they had they had strength in the fact that they were in that Western Division.
Yep, I agree with you, Michael. So do you think Luke Fickell, or I agree with you in the sense that maybe they lost their identity over the past couple of years and that the Big Ten is significantly tougher? I don't agree with you on everything. But do you think Luke Fickell and this Wisconsin team can get their identity back? Because that seems to be what the purpose behind the Jeff Grimes hire was, and getting rid of Phil Longo is to get back to that sort of tough, nasty discipline, in the words of Luke Fickell, that style of bully ball. Do you think it can come back, or do you think they're too far gone at this point?
I mean, did you see it today? Did we see any of that old school breakout run game, domination at the line of scrimmage? Any of that identity that you saw maybe 5 years ago? I don't think we see. I don't think we see that. I don't think that exists anymore. And
not in the first half.
NIL,
not in the first half, that's for sure.
Yeah, and NIL has a lot to do with it too, because you have to have the money to pay the players, and I understand that part of recruiting, but old school Wisconsin Badger football has been dead since Luke Fickell took over, and
yeah,
that's my opinion.
I think you're right, Michael, and thank you for the call. I appreciate it. I think old Wisconsin football, when he hired Phil Longo, died that day. However, and I think that was a big mistake. Luke Fickell hiring Phil Longo is probably the biggest mistake he has made in his tenure so far at the University of Wisconsin. But if we're being honest, old school Wisconsin football would not get it done nowadays. Look at what's happening to Iowa. They, mark my words, they are going to be on a downward trajectory for the next 5 to 10 years because Kirk Ferentz refuses to innovate. And they lost to Iowa State. They have a great defense. Their quarterback and their offense still is atrocious because 3 yards in a cloud of dust doesn't work anymore. And we talked about how good of a game Jeff Grimes called today. I think at his peak, that is the evolution of Wisconsin football. That is where we can be. I think this team's ceiling, even this year, is still very high. We saw flashes of it today. It's just getting to the point where it's not just flashes anymore. It's not just one half of football. It's a full 4 quarters. And I agree that they came out soft, and you can't start a game of football like that at this level, especially not with the caliber of opponents coming up. But to say that we need to go back to how it used to be, I think is also not accurate and disingenuous. Josh, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I think that's a little bit short-sighted. I think you can keep the core of what Wisconsin is and has been and wants to be there. I think you can do that while also evolving, and I don't think that would have happened prior to the Paul Chryst firing. I don't think hiring Phil Longo was a step in the right direction. I think Jeff Grimes could certainly be a step in the right direction because the offense we watched today still it was trying to do the things we're used to. It was just incapable of it. And what it's difficult to parse out is, first, when we talk about the running backs, and the offensive lines have gotten a lot of credit, and this offensive line is certainly getting a lot of pessimism spoken about it. The main difference I noticed, and I talked about this last season, is the Badgers don't have a Melvin Gordon, a Jonathan Taylor, a James White, a Monte Ball, a Brian Calhoun. they haven't had one of those running backs in a long time, and it shows. Certainly, would those guys have had a more difficult time if they wouldn't have had those offensive lines that were littered with NFL stars and NFL starters? Yeah, of course. But I still don't think even that skill player position is up to snuff of what it used to be. So even subtracting an offensive line that, they need to stop losing the in-state recruits. That's where a lot of those kids come from. And that's where it was a factory of, even if the kids weren't local, they said, that's a place that is going to get me into the NFL. They took all the kids here, and they got all the kids in the area, and they all became NFL starters. Like that's a portion of it. I think Grimes is a step in the right direction, but I do think there is a talent issue here. And we got so excited seeing the Luke Fickell bat signal go out, and we got our hopes up. And it seems like as much as we can blame a lot of the coaching, the talent just doesn't seem to be there either.
I think on the offensive line, yes. The cornerback position, yes, if you want to look on the defensive side of the ball. If you want to stick on purely the offensive side of the ball, man, I was really excited about Dylan Jones, Darion Dupree, Cade Yakimelli. It could just because the offensive line isn't opening holes, but they aren't elevating their play right now. They haven't had those Melvin Gordon,
like
Monte Ball-esque runs. But I will say, and I think Michael mentioned this too, but the receivers look awesome, though. So
that is
the
true.
Receivers and the quarterback look fantastic. So I think that is something we need to keep an eye on, and that is very important in this modern era of college football. And if the Badgers want to elevate to a point where they're competing for Big Ten championships again, or at least going to decent bowl games and competing, if they want to get back to where they were, they need to have good quarterback play, and they need to have good wide receiver play. And we saw a lot of that today, which makes me optimistic. Gruber Law Offices has a reputation for winning. Their team works tirelessly to help people seriously injured in accidents by providing the best care and service. There's never a fee until they win your case. Gruber Law Offices has been serving the state of Wisconsin for over 35 years. Gruber Law Offices, one call, that's all. Josh DiMaggio live from the Gruber Law Offices, one call, that's all studios. Riley Jauch here from Liberty Station. More of your calls, more of your text coming up next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light.
Post-game reaction continues next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, presented by Coors Light.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune in to Kyle Preston Nortman from 2 to 5 every day. WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Is your roof underperforming? Saggy shingles, leaky spots? Sounds like someone needs a little Evandale Roofing. They don't just patch things up, they go all the way. Tight, sealed, satisfied. It's the kind of roof that'll have your neighbors going,
now that's a roof.
Evandale Roofing. They get on top so you don't have to. Call now. Your house deserves it.
Baseball is back. Brian Balaga here to bring you a proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. A delicious and perfect pairing for a day at the ballpark. Stocked at American Family Field all season long. Surfside is only 100 calories per serving, and the best part, 0 bubbles. Ask for it at your local bar or liquor store. Surfside, an official partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Must be 21 years of age. Please drink responsibly.
Discover Proof Pizza at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. In the heart of Milwaukee's Theater District, this modern pizzeria delivers Neapolitan-style pies, a bold grill menu, and old-school hospitality in a sleek, art-inspired setting. Whether you're craving a quick lunch or a relaxed evening bite, Proof Pizza is your go-to downtown destination. Dine in, unwind, and savor flavor that hits just right. And here's a tip. If you mention Jen Latta, you'll receive 10% off your order. Learn more at stkatearts.com.
It's Jason Wilde from Wilde & Tausch. Upgrade your industrial supply services with Lakeland Supply, your trusted ISO certified partner for custom packaging, shipping supplies, janitorial, and safety supply solutions. With over 40 years of industry excellence, Lakeland Supply is a proven one-stop source with over 95% of their products made in the U.S., and they treat their customers like family. Personalized service with a national reach. That's what Lakeland Supply does. Visit LakelandSupply.com to discover how they can make your business better.
This summer, your wishes take center stage at WishFest at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Play your favorite games with your Potawatomi Rewards card all summer for over $1 million in prizes and earn entries into the WishFest prize drawings on Friday, September 26th. Your entries from July, August, and September all count. Plus, 5 lucky winners will have their ultimate wish granted. Wish big, win big. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
It's ESPN Milwaukee's Brad Nortman here with some exciting news from my friends at Bank 5-9. Not only have they been named a top workplace for 16 straight years, but they've just won the prestigious Community Choice Award as the best bank in the Milwaukee area. Honestly, I'm not surprised. Not only do they have great products and services, but they truly live out their mission to make lives better. If you're looking for a true local community bank, check out the best. Visit bank59.com to learn more today. Member FDIC.
College students, are you looking to make your campus living more comfortable, functional, and fashionable this year? Let IKEA help. From innovative storage solutions and furniture to maximize your space, to fashionable bedding and accessories to make it uniquely yours, IKEA is helping make college living truly inspired by you. And now, qualified college students can save even more with 15% off their IKEA purchase when they sign up for IKEA Family for free. Visit IKEA Oak Creek, IKEA Schaumburg, or check out the Ready for College section on IKEA.com/US to learn more.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
And just like that, the Badgers are back in business.
I mean, it's just a big party here. Win or lose, welcome to the best after party in the state. This is the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day Postgame Show, brewed by Coors Light on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. Alongside Riley Jauch, here's Corey Sparks.
Hey, y'all having a good time out there?
Badgers big winners today over Middle Tennessee by a score of 42-10. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light. And Badgers winners today, if you want to be a winner, winners go to Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison, the casino with the highest payouts in the area. Go be a winner at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison. They're open right now and stay open until 2 a.m. on Monday. Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison, more spins, more wins, more fun. Riley Jauch here live at Liberty Station in downtown Madison, maybe just outside downtown Madison off Rimrock Road. Josh DiMaggio live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue. 800-990-3776, the Carbless Talk and text line your way into the show. Or if you want to be like Chad, feel free to chime in on the ESPN Madison, ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channels. Chad Draper on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. The Badgers still have yet to play 60 minutes of solid ball with Luke Fickell as head coach. The offense is inconsistent. They are going to get smoked against the Tide. I needed to see more. And Josh, that last sentence is what really caught my eye. I needed to see more. Did you see enough from this Badgers squad to give them a fighting chance, a prayer, if you will, against Kalen DeBoer's Alabama next week?
Not a chance in hell is the way I would phrase it. I think I talked about it in the first hour probably more than one time. You start like that against an Alabama who, even in a down year for Alabama, and even with the coach on the hot seat, that many 5- and 4-star talents that they have out there, even if they aren't playing a well-disciplined and a typical Alabama game, the Badgers in that situation would have been in a very, very, very bad spot. So the fact that they can't put 60 minutes together, I think is a huge issue. It's also an accurate one that I feel like we've been talking about for 3+ years here. Unfortunately. Yeah, I I'm trying to find a positive in this, and it's a real struggle, especially now that they're probably going to go beat you all in Monroe. They're currently up by 14 in the first quarter, so they're going to feel like they got their mojo back, and the Badgers might feel good after pulling away and extending that lead, but I think everybody on that team, on that coaching staff, and all the fans have in the back of their mind of like, oh no, what could this possibly mean for a Badgers team who loves to play sometimes not even one half of football, sometimes even less, but usually has a lay an egg half. You can't do that against Alabama.
Nope, I totally agree, and unfortunately, as much as it pains me to admit, I agree with Chad too. Like, I don't think they've put together 60 full minutes of football under Luke Fickell, which in year 3 is absurd. That should not happen. But I will argue, and to look on the positive side, there's no way that Wisconsin, and I will eat crow if I'm wrong on this, I believe there is no way they're going to come out slow next week against Alabama. You saw it last year against Penn State and Oregon, their big games at home. Even USC on the road, who just scored a touchdown against Georgia Southern, that game on here at Liberty Station. They came out guns blazing, and they took leads in all 3 of those games, and then they petered off down the stretch. Oregon, they played probably 57 minutes of very solid football, but Braden Locke throws the interception in the final 3, and that's all she wrote. You have to play full games. So on the positive side, I think they're going to come out, and I think this team has the capability at their peak of playing those 60 full minutes. And Joshy, you said that Alabama's going to have their confidence back. We knew they were going to smoke Louisiana Monroe after what happened last week. But I don't think the Badgers are feeling good whatsoever. I don't think Luke Fickell is feeling good or coasting at all. Evan Flood tweets from the post-game show. Maybe we'll have audio. I don't think we'll have time on this program, but maybe throughout the course of the week, hear what he had to say. Quote from Luke Fickell, right? Are they, after answering a question, are the Badgers ready for what's coming in their schedule? Right at this moment, no. We can't play the way we did in the first half. So even Luke Fickell admitting this team at present isn't ready for the big boys. How does that make you feel?
I'm glad he's being honest.
Good policy.
Yes, that we appreciate that here on the post-game show. Honesty is key. I don't feel encouraged, and the one thing I've been tossing around in my head, I was doing this last year with Brad Nortman on the postgame a couple times, is what's happening at Wisconsin right now with the football team is certainly more than just coaching and certainly more than just a lack of talent. What I can't figure out is what's the biggest issue and how those issues can be resolved. And when you go in with inferior coaching and inferior talent, I have a lot of issues. I'm scared of it, and I don't want to do this all season of the moral victories. And I'm not saying that's what you were saying with saying how good they looked against some of those higher ranked opponents, but that's what sort of we've become accustomed to here in Wisconsin. It's,
you're right.
You played them tough. You gave it a shot. You showed up.
I agree with what you're saying. And it's like, if you go back to like peak Paul Chryst, 2016, they knock off number 5 LSU. Yep. They had a penchant for winning those big games. They beat a really good Michigan team that year. 2017, they smoke Alabama in their home stadium in the Orange Bowl. Could they ever beat Ohio State? No. Hopefully that changes this year. But they were able to win those big games. So I hear you.
Right. We so desperately need one of those upsets at this point.
Gosh, yes.
Just one. And it doesn't even need to be Alabama. It can be anyone throughout the schedule. It could be even a weekend team who probably didn't even have the year you expected, but like the brand name. That's what I give me the brand name. They can be a 4-loss team, but if it's a brand name and you beat them, I'll feel better than I feel right now, and I've felt pretty much since Luke Fickell took over.
Yes, and like if Wisconsin beat USC last year, they were ranked at the time the Badgers played them, top 25 opponent in the Coliseum. They had them on the ropes and should have won that game. I was in the press box watching that unfold, so excited. Finally felt like we were getting that first marquee win under Fickell, and they collapse. But that's why this schedule, for as brutal as it is and for as nervous as it makes people, that's why it's so awesome, because it provides so many opportunities for this team to finally get over that hump and reach the pinnacle of getting a marquee win. And reaching, I don't want to say that's the mountaintop of this season. They have bigger goals than just finally winning a game against a better team. But there's no telling what kind of mojo, what kind of energy that can do, what that can do to galvanize a team. Who knows how last year's team would have fared if they had beaten Penn State or beaten Oregon. Those wins are important. I think the Badgers will get one this year. We'll see who it is. But, yeah, it's a necessity. It's a necessity, and we haven't seen it so far under Luke Fickell. 800-990-3776, the Carbless Talk and text line your way into the show. If you'd still like to talk to me and Joshy this evening, looking ahead to Alabama right now. And Josh, is there anything Alabama could do tonight other than lose? That maybe even if you don't think Wisconsin is a good enough team to win, maybe Alabama is a bad enough team that they just fold, or they're just not good this year. They're more at the Badgers level.
I think you need more than just a loss. I think you need a loss and Kalen DeBoer to get bought out during the week in between week 2 and week 3. That's the type of place I think we're at right now, because there's just nothing I can say that really instills a level of confidence against even not so good Alabama, even an Alabama who might not make the playoff. That's still a scary team with an awful lot of talent who I feel like can win without good coaching. That's the difference in talent level to me, and I don't think a Badgers team that we've watched over the past 3 years is capable of that.
Michael Glenn chimes in on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream. Do you think that Barry Alvarez is right in believing Wisconsin is going to be favored over Alabama? Right now, no. I do think what Barry meant, though, last week when he said that, or earlier this week, was that he thinks more people will think Wisconsin is going to win the football game, not necessarily a betting favorite, but that more pundits will think Wisconsin's going to win than Alabama after this performance today. I don't think that is too likely. Our friends at Liberty Station, that's where I'm at right now, right in front of this beautiful glass garage door. It's a full house here at Liberty Station, a line to get into the door. They have what Jesse Nelson calls the best program in football, as our friends here at Liberty Station are running a game day shuttle program during home games this football season. For just $20, get a Coors Light and a round-trip ride to Camp Randall. Not too shabby. It all starts at Liberty Station American Tavern and Smokehouse, located off the Beltline on Rimrock Road. This is the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day Postgame Show, brewed by Coors Light. Josh DiMaggio, Riley Jauch with you. We're going to be awarding some helmet stickers next. Don't go anywhere.
Post-game reaction continues next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, presented by Coors Light.
Experience, knowledge, results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tusher here, and the Pickler Menominee Falls is now open. Your home for pickleball. 9 premium indoor courts with unlimited play, leagues, tournaments, and clinics, all included in your membership. Sign up today for open play spots or check out Learn to Play sessions and clinics. Members get 4 clinics a month included. Memberships start at just $119 a month. Check out all the options at thepickler.com. That's PICKLR.com. And I'll see you on the court.
Is your business ready to take the next step? At Fifth Third Commercial Bank Wisconsin, our team of local experienced advisors is here to propel you forward. We understand your needs and offer in-depth expertise, cutting-edge technology, and tailored solutions to streamline your cash collections, automate payments, and safeguard your assets with top-notch fraud mitigation tools. Contact Fifth Third in downtown Milwaukee today. Let's eliminate the non-value add work so you can focus on what truly matters, growing your business. Fifth Third Bank National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
grand slams and walk-offs. If you haven't jumped on the bandwagon by now, what are you waiting for? Siding Unlimited is Milwaukee's very own national champions. That's right, Siding Unlimited installs windows, and we do it really well, earning the prestigious Pella Platinum Premier National Certified Contractor of the Year award 5 times. New windows? Our expert team will deliver on a smooth, hassle-free installation, making you feel proud of calling Siding Unlimited for your window project. What's the next step? Call 262-567-4513 or go to sidingunlimited.com.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know it's not just a car, it also drives your children's dreams. So whether you're going to soccer practice, robotics club, or opening night in the school play, we help protect those dreams. Save up to 23% when you bundle auto and home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Craving that crispy, cheesy, thick Detroit-style pizza? Well, now you got it with Screamin' Sicilian. Screamin' Sicilian delivers the crunch, the gooey cheese pull, and that light, airy crust that you love, all baked in its own pan for those crave-worthy caramelized edges straight from your home oven. You got the cheese, the pepperoni, multi-meat, or supreme. It's like dining out, but without the hefty bill. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's freezer section. Screamin' Sicilian, Detroit-style, thick, crispy, unapologetically Screamin'.
Get ready to say goodbye to those bland seltzers at the ballpark. Carbless is proudly Wisconsin-born, crafted by real people. A husband and wife team who wanted better cocktails in a can. They're locally made and blissfully better. Carbless offers a bold, true cocktail flavor that's made for baseball fans. Available in fan-favorite flavors like lemon lime, black raspberry, cranberry, and mango, bringing the craft cocktail bar to your seat. Refreshment that matches the energy of American Family Field is Carbless. Full of flavor, no sugar, and no carbs. Just game day bliss.
Kyle Bruston Nortman, KBN.
The results speak for themselves, and either you're going to jump on board or you're going to find out why they are who they are.
On 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
One of the disappointing thing defensively, we didn't play very clean either in the first half. And then again, like I said, they made a couple plays. They threw the ball down the field. Made a couple plays that just put them in better positions. But even the start of that second half with the drive, that's 8, 9, 10 plays that just methodically are things that we've been better at in the first game and all through fall camp. But it takes a spark. And to be quite honest with you, we got a fortunate review, and they put it back a half a yard behind, and we made a play.
ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day rolls along here. Riley Jauch live from Liberty Station. Josh DiMaggio back in the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 42-10 winners tonight over Middle Tennessee. And Luke Fickell there was speaking. Was he talking about the fourth down stop, Josh? Is that what you were picking up there?
Yeah. So he was talking about how it was basically about the defense, and the changing point of the game was that review that moved the ball back, and then the Badgers stopped them on that fourth down run, which seemingly set the Badgers on their path to victory and sort of flipped the game totally around. The one problem I have, and that was a big play, and credit due to the defense there for being stout in that moment, is if they don't get that stop, what does the rest of that game look like? Like how much different is that game if they're able to go down there and score? It feels like it could have gotten out of hand for the Badgers a little bit.
If they scored to go up 17-14, some things are puckered.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Camp Randall gets tight. That's for sure. But shout out Christian Allegro and the linebackers who were flying all over the place in the second half for getting the stop. I I think the Badgers still would have won the game. They would have found a way to recapture momentum and win. It would have been uglier, and the fan base would have gotten a lot more negative and a lot louder as the second half continued. But I think it's frustrating that it took until the second half to happen, but this team was able to find the spark. If I'm looking at the positives here, they were able to find it, and I think this team is capable of finding that spark out of the gate when they're running out of the tunnel. I think this team can find a spark. It just took forever today, which was increasingly aggravating to watch, and hopefully will not continue as time rolls on. I think they bring the spark next week against Alabama right away, and I don't think it takes until the third quarter on a fourth down stop after a friendly review from the officials. But I guess one more thing to that point before we get into helmet stickers here. Josh, you mentioned during the break that every post game for us the past 3 years, the entirety of the Luke Fickell era, has felt the same. And I wrote this down in my notes during that first half. Every positive thing that happened for the Badgers in the first half felt pretty cheap. It was either they benefited off a penalty that Middle Tennessee committed, or they benefited on a stupid mistake, a partial review. Nothing felt easy. It felt like an accident when it happened. Jim Rutledge talks about this all the time on the jump around. He wants clarity this season. He doesn't want it to feel like an accident, and we saw that again. It reared its ugly head in the first half.
Yeah, that's it. The positives, you feel like you have to couch with sort of, I know I'm giving a positive to maybe a spot that doesn't deserve it. It just feels formulaic at this point, which is not how you want to feel. You want to get excitement. You want to feel anger. And the thing I consistently feel is, well, it was bad, but they got the win. That's like the best situation that I've had, because I did this last year with Brad Nortman a handful of times, and we were trying to spin the wins as positive as possible, and I think we've tried to do a good job of that here, and we have taken some positives, but there is that big, demon hanging over your shoulder of, on the other shoulder saying, hey, yeah, but when you face some tough competition, this game might not go as easily or as nicely as it ended up going.
Yep, and unfortunately, until the Badgers get one of those big wins we were talking about, until they thoroughly dominate a team that isn't as good as them talent-wise, or shouldn't be as good as them talent-wise, we are going to keep playing the same old song, running the same old race, and having the same conversation. But now, once again, let's take a look on the positive side. Let's award some helmet stickers.
Let's see who earned it.
Jack Cichy doing it all on this drive for the Badger D. Melvin Gordon inside the 20. Uses the stiff arm. Hold on. Is he in? That's a Wisconsin touchdown. Going deep. Down the left sideline. Man's there and got it. In stride. And it's Vinny Anthony. Touchdown, Wisconsin.
Time to give out some helmet stickers on ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
All right, Joshy, as you can see, this is your first time giving out some helmet stickers on the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day postgame show. I have a Wisconsin football helmet here with me. It's autographed by the Wisconsin basketball team. Don't ask me why. But now I want to give you the honors of going first. Who are you giving your helmet sticker to tonight?
This is an easy one. It's straightforward, but I think it's a guy well deserving of the first honor. That's Danny O'Neal, second string quarterback, 23 of 27, 283 yards and 3 touchdowns. I thought, even though the competition is lesser, he looked poised. The moment didn't look too big for him. I also don't think the game got away from him at any point. There was the one interception, and as we say, everything has to have a but with it when it comes to these Badgers. But I thought he played well. I thought he looked the part, and I thought it raised a level of confidence and strength that I haven't felt in that quarterback position in a while.
Yeah, since what, that Illinois game against Graham Mertz, maybe?
Yeah.
At least for me, I don't know. Like Tanner even with Mordecai Van Dyke, I don't think we saw anything as good as we saw from Danny O'Neal today. Great choice. Danny O'Neal gets Josh's helmet sticker. For me, I'm going with the leading receiver today, Tretch Kekahuna. He was dynamic. This is exactly why Jeff Grimes tried so hard to keep him at Madison, talked to him even after he entered the portal, recruited him back to the Badgers. One rushing attempt for 61 yards. He had the one touchdown run. Absolutely sensational. Turned on the afterburners. A great seal block. I believe it was Emerson Mandel who sprung him. So even a bad offensive line showing today did have some solid moments. And then 4 receptions on 5 targets for 28 yards. And he made some difficult catches as well. Trech Kekahuna gets my helmet sticker as I do it off screen. But there you go. Those are our helmet stickers today. Metro Ford of Madison is Madison's trusted Ford dealer. Give them a helmet sticker when you get the chance. Whether you need to purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Ford, Metro Ford is the place to go. Visit Metro Ford of Madison on the east side today, or go to their website, metrofordofmadison.com, to see this month's specials and browse their inventory. Pablo Iglesias was at Camp Randall today. He talked with Luke Fickell. He watched the press conference. We'll see if he asked some questions or not, if he actually talked to him. But we'll hear from him next. First-hand experience, Pablo Iglesias, also host of the Jump Around on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. Riley Jauch, live from Liberty Station. Josh DiMaggio back at the Gruber Lofts' One Call That's All studios in Milwaukee. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light.
Post-game reaction continues next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, presented by Coors Light.
Looking to transform your home with stylish furniture and home accessories without breaking the bank? At your local IKEA in Oak Creek, they believe everyone deserves a beautiful and affordable living experience that enhances your everyday life. From comfortable and fashionable sofas and sectionals, to kitchens full of inspiration, to bedrooms designed to help you find your best sleep and relaxation, IKEA's home furnishing combines form and function to fit any lifestyle and budget. Visit IKEA Oak Creek today, or explore their collection online at ikea.com/US.
It's a home run! But wait, is your roof ready for the big league storms? If your roof has more holes than a catcher's mitt, it's time to bring in the pros. At Avondale Roofing, we've been handling leaks, repairs, and full replacements with major league precision for over 30 years. And as a GAF Master Elite certified contractor, we bring top-tier quality and proven performance to every job. Whether it's a quick patch-up or full upgrade, our team steps up to the plate and knocks it out of the park every time. You're out! Don't wait till water's in your dugout. Call Avondale Roofing today and keep your home in the win column.
Home buyers are raving about their experiences with the Citizens Bank mortgage team.
Aaron helped me get pre-approved really fast, like before the open house even started.
I called Devin so many times with questions, and he always answered.
It's more than a mortgage. It's your future. And at Citizens Bank, we make it personal. Learn more at citizensbankwi.bank/mortgage. Citizens Bank is member FDIC and an equal housing lender. NMLS 746419.
Hey ESPN Milwaukee fans, Brian Balaga here for Surfside. Summer is heating up, and there's nothing more refreshing than an ice-cold Surfside iced tea and vodka or Surfside lemonade and vodka to break the heat. Made with real brewed tea and real vodka, Surfside is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy no matter what your plans are this weekend. Look for the can with the sunset stripes, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
Pull up to Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee and shoot your shot at big wins for Sweet Ticket September. Play with your rewards card for entries. Score triple on Drawing Thursday. Win slam dunk prizes like cash, reward plate, and tickets to see the Milwaukee Bucks in action. Sweet Ticket September. You ready for this? Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
It's Jason Wilde from Wilde & Tausch. Upgrade your industrial supply services with Lakeland Supply, your trusted ISO certified partner for custom packaging, shipping supplies, janitorial, and safety supply solutions. With over 40 years of industry excellence, Lakeland Supply is a proven one-stop source with over 95% of their products made in the U.S., and they treat their customers like family. Personalized service with a national reach. That's what Lakeland Supply does. Visit lakelandsupply.com to discover how they can make your business better.
The more you listen to your kids, the closer you'll be. So we asked kids, what do you want your parents to hear?
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
we're not adults, so just be there and like listen. I just want someone to yap to, and I just feel like I'll be fine. Like if someone just hears me talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk.
You're doing a really good job. And I don't think I tell you that enough. And I know sometimes we get into it and it's just hard on both of us. But, try to understand me more and I'll try to do the same.
Listening is a form of love. Find resources to help you support your kids and their emotional well-being at sounditouttogether.org. That's sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal.
Hey, this is Tanas Antetokounmpo. Download the new ESPN Wisconsin app.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The brand new ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
The Badgers, big win today, 42-10 over the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders. ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day is brewed by Coors Light. However, if you're looking for a non-alcoholic beverage, enjoy Pepsi, a proud partner of the Wisconsin Badgers. Get game day ready with Pepsi, the taste that scores every time. Try Pepsi Zero Sugar, the perfect drink for your tailgate party, and a tasty mixer on Wisconsin. Speaking of on Wisconsin, Pablo Iglesias was on potentially the sideline. If not, he was up in the press box. Regardless, he was at Camp Randall Stadium, and now he joins myself and Jauch DiMaggio on this ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day Postgame show. Pablo, welcome in. How are you doing?
Hey, what's up, boys? Well, happy to be here. It was bird's eye view today, so another good look at what this team's looking like. Feeling a lot better. How the first half went, I think we can all agree that it was not too hot, but definitely feeling good after that win. A lot of interesting things as this team gets ready for Alabama week. But like I said, happy to be here, boys.
Yeah, we appreciate having you, Pablo. And you were in the media room while Luke Fickell was speaking. What was your biggest takeaway from what Fickell had to say? How did he seem to be feeling after the performance today?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me was how Luke Fickell wasn't sugarcoating anything. I think he said just straight up that if they go into Alabama playing the way that they did, or at least the way that they started out, they're not going to be in a good spot. And I think we can all agree with that too, because again, you know that how last season went. You know that you're already going into a hostile environment. You know that this Alabama team has a chip on its shoulder already. So, hey, you really got to shape up, but I think what I've taken away in years past is how everybody was able to hold themselves accountable right off the bat, and heck, even into going into the locker room. Danny O'Neil, he was a guy who had said, too, that he spoke up during the halftime. And I know we talked about this last week, Riley, that Danny O'Neil's his veteran presence, the fact that he's had a few years under his belt already, I think. Oh, hello.
Still there?
Yeah, he's there. Can you not hear him?
Hello.
Have we lost Pablo Iglesias? Or
all right, I'm going to take over here, Pablo, because I think I think Riley lost the sound for us, even though we can hear him, which I don't want to put him on the air if he doesn't know he's going over the air. But finish your statement there and your thoughts about talking with Luke Fickell.
Yeah, again, it's just this team, I feel like, is able to hold themselves accountable at a quicker pace. Where, again, it was learn from the losses, learn from the hardships, learn from the adversity, where, again, they faced adversity, they faced hardships in that first half. I'll tell you straight up, like you saw Middle Tennessee gain some momentum. They're down 4 at halftime, and yet they're jumping around like they're up by 20 going into Camp Randall, and then you have fans booing. That's not a great spot. I'm not going to lie. But as Danny O'Neil had said, just as they were wrapping up player availability too, he was one of the guys that spoke up and said that this is not the Wisconsin standard. 17 rushing yards is just not acceptable. I think a lot of guys were able to buy in across the board, whereas in years past, not saying that guys haven't bought in, but, sometimes feelings just kind of go all over the place, where this year it feels like that everybody's on that same page. Nobody's trying to attack one another. It's a team that's really built one as a unit. So I think that was a huge thing from what I took away from Fickell and from what some of the players had to say.
Pablo Iglesias here from ESPN Madison, joining us on Wisconsin College Game Day post-game show. Pablo, did Luke Fickell address the booing off the field at halftime? I don't know what it felt like in the stadium, but for me watching on my couch, it felt like it was quite loud and something that you and the team must have noticed.
He did not address it straightforward, but I think just based off the statements, it felt like that he knew. He knew that they were not playing up to their standard. He knew that that they could be playing a lot better. Like I said, that he addressed that if they go into Alabama, going into Alabama week the way that they started out, that's not going to be a good thing. This has unfortunately been a little bit of an issue with a lot of Luke Fickell's teams, is that they always talk about wanting to start out fast, and it's a slow burn. And I think, again, with Wisconsin coming out with this victory, everybody's happy in that locker room, but obviously everybody also knows, too, that it's not all sunshine and rainbows. They got to work, and if they want to pull off some type of upset or at least make it competitive compared to last season, they got to do a lot of stuff going into these next couple weeks. Unfortunately, no boos were addressed head on, but again, based off the way that there was some feelings there, you could tell that everybody knew that this wasn't Wisconsin football, but they were able to find their way. They were able to find their rhythm coming out of that locker room. And I think really when it came down to it, too, was that fourth down play where originally it looked like the Blue Raiders had converted on going down and they were in Wisconsin territory. It was called back, pushed back an extra yard, pushed a yard back rather. And that was a big stop. And Fickell pointed that out, that that's what it takes. Josh, hopefully you're a big Last Dance guy like me, a big Chicago Bulls guy, and watching the documentary. Michael Jordan says at the end of that documentary, it takes one match to start a fire. And that was exactly what that fourth down conversion was, that the Badgers were able to stop there, gain that momentum, and then they just took the ball and ran the rest of the way.
Pablo Iglesias joining us on the post-game show here for the Wisconsin Badgers, who did end up defeating Middle Tennessee State today. Pablo, did you get a sense of any positives that were taken? We listened to a little bit of the part about the fourth down and stopping there. What was the positive takeaways? I don't want to be all doom and gloom on this program.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, what we saw was the ability to generate big plays. I think there are some question marks that they've moved Riley Mahlman over to the left tackle side, and he said that he hasn't played that position or that side of the ball since spring 2022. So it was a little bit of a learning curve for him, but I did notice on a couple screen passes that there were some schemes where he was jumping off the line a little bit. So, hey, it's going to take a little bit, but it sounds like to Riley that it might just be like riding a bike for him. So it's going to take a little bit for him to get used to those reps. From the positive sides, though, we saw Stretch Kekahuna make a big play. And to go back even further, I'll never forget that Jeff Grimes on the first week of media availability before they took off for Platteville, Jeff Grimes pointed out that Stretch Kekahuna was actually his first quote-unquote recruit when he came in here. Because, yes, Stretch was here, but then he decided to enter the transfer portal before Jeff Grimes was hired. And Grimes went out and got him back because he knew how big of a playmaker he was. Stretch was even saying, too, that he showed him the plays at Kansas. He showed him that this is the exact potential. This is what I could see in you. And Stretch bought into that. And it was kind of cool. Obviously, you couldn't give away a lot of what the play calls were because you got to keep him close to the hip. But it was Danny's call. It was the quarterback's call. If they liked what they saw in the defensive scheme, then they went with it. That's how that play unfolded. But if they didn't like what they saw, then they just went and called it before that ball was even snapped. So it's cool to see Stretch get out there. And it was also fun to see Vinny Anthony, that same reverse type of play, that he also found the end zone, too. I also wanted to point out, too, that Lance Mason, a guy who proved himself out there as the tight end, I mean, that's a big story, especially with the position that's hurting right now at tight end. That was a big question mark. Is Tucker Ashcraft the guy who clearly had this beyond leadership experience, the guy who has been on the field a lot more than compared to the other tight ends right now? Is that going to hurt these guys down the road? But the fact that Mason was able to come out and ball out the way that he did, have over 100 yards and a tutty, man, that's fantastic. So that's a positive that I would like to see. I think we're slowly but surely. I know there was a lot of hype going into this and making it feel like that we could eventually see the older version of Wisconsin, if you will, with this Jeff Grimes offense. But I think we are slowly but surely seeing, at least from the running side of it and the creativity. It's not about reinventing the wheel, but you can see that this run offense is in a way a little smoother than it has been in the last couple of years.
Pablo Iglesias there. I thank you for your insight. I thank you for joining us on this beautiful evening. And that'll be it. I'll talk to you again, I'm sure, sometime in the near future, and hopefully it's after another Badgers win.
All right, yeah. Hey, we'll keep our fingers crossed. We'll see what happens next week at Tuscaloosa. Maybe we'll see if we could chat about some good times there.
Sounds good. Thank you for your time today. This is the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day Postgame Show. I'm Josh DiMaggio, working to get back Riley Jauch here. Hopefully after this brief break here, we will be talking to him again, and we will recap all things Badgers and preview a little bit of Alabama coming up. This is ESPN Wisconsin.
Post-game reaction continues next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, presented by Coors Light.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments, Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
The power of friendship has spawned a memorable baseball season in Milwaukee. When you choose to work with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, the relationship is more than what feels like having a friend. Pella honors trust and commitment on your behalf, before, during, and after the sale. They take those values to heart with every person the Pella team works with. It's natural to feel a little apprehensive about having someone visit your home, but take it from me and my wife. The brilliant Pella designers immediately put you at ease with their experience and professionalism. We love that initial visit, along with how easy they made it to envision bringing our project to life. Pella is committed to being the company everyone wants to do business with, and they've certainly lived up to that and more. And with this month's incredible deal, Gina Della from Pella is here to share why you shouldn't wait to order new windows and doors.
Order today and get 0% interest for up to 60 months. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Ends 9/30/2025.
Home practice is about to begin. Your daughter's new tap shoes? Loud. Your son's new tuba? Louder. But you got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with $50 overdraft grace zone. So if you lose track of expenses buying some noise-canceling and sanity-saving headphones, we've got your back. You got this with $50 overdraft grace zone from Associated Bank. See AssociatedBank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Back to school means back to savings with Exterior Pros and Baths. Right now, get $3,000 off your roofing, your siding, your windows, or your bath project during the fall savings event. Don't wait. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com to claim your $3,000 savings and book your free estimate. Exterior Pros and Baths, Wisconsin's trusted home improvement experts. Trust the pros.
Whoa! What are these? Screamin' Sicilian loaded breadsticks. Available in 2 great flavors, cheesy garlic or pepperoni. Both delicious. Screamin' Sicilian doesn't play around. They're fully loaded breadsticks that come in their own bakeable tray.
Dang! Woo! These are next level. Are they the main course?
Nah, just the appetizer. Find Screamin' Sicilian loaded breadsticks in your local grocer's freezer section. Screamin' Sicilian loaded breadsticks. Bring the party, bring the flavor.
One smile is great, but one smile in a community of smiles is so much better. A smile has a secret power that most people don't know about. A smile multiplies. It spreads from one person to the next, stretching across entire groups of people. Smile Train knows this and is proud to be creating a wave of smiles across the cleft lip and palate community in over 70 countries. Patients, doctors, advocates, fundraisers. Collectively, our smiles are a celebration of the transformed lives of over 1.5 million children. Learn how Smile Train is helping the cleft lip and palate community at smiletrain.org/learn. Smile Train, changing the world one smile at a time.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just for you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
Welcome back to ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light. Thank you for bearing with us through the technical difficulties. Apparently, you guys could hear me. I couldn't hear you. Shout out to our amazing producer / co-host tonight, Josh DiMaggio, back in the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Studios. That sucks. Thank you for taking care of it, handling business, and keeping us on track. Finishing off the interview with Pablo Iglesias. I'm sure everything you guys had to say was fantastic once I went off the air, so appreciate that.
You got it, brother.
Thank you. Introducing Pizza Hut's new handcrafted personal flats pizzas. For just $5 each, you can enjoy bold recipes like Nashville hot chicken, pepperoni duo, 3-cheese ultimate, and chicken bacon ranch. The perfect pizza deal, perfect for game days. Find the nearest location or order online at pizzahut.com. No one out-pizzas the Hut. Without further ado, it's time to give out our red hot and ice cold of the game.
Ho was scorching.
Going to keep it himself, another rushing touchdown for Wisconsin. Pouring it on in Piscataway.
Who froze up?
Block from his end zone. It's picked off. Jalen Reed. Touchdown. Huge play for the Penn State defense.
It's time to play Red Hot, Ice Cold on ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
He's got a fever.
All right, Joshy, since I was off air last segment, I'll start this one. So for my red hot, I don't know if you caught this on the broadcast, but I believe it was the second touchdown run of the second score of the game for the Badgers, that touchdown run near the goal line. Joe Brunner. If you ever seen the movie The Blind Side, Michael Orr, where he pushes the guy all the way through the back of the end zone on a random touchdown run, and Sandra Bullock's in the stands like applauding, yeah, Michael, go! Joe Brunner did that to a Middle Tennessee defender, and after getting no push for most of the game, that was very encouraging to see, even just like kind of an FU to the defensive line. That was really fun. So I had a great time watching that, and the slow-mo replay was fantastic. So shout out Joe Brunner. His little extracurricular blocking on the touchdown run gets my red hot for today. How about you, Josh?
My red hot is going to go to a guy I don't think we've mentioned enough, but a guy who deserves a little bit of credit, and that's going to be Lance Mason. 7 catches, 102 yards, and a touchdown. A big showing from the senior, a guy who last year had 590 total yards on 34 catches. He did about a quarter of that in just this game. So
not too shabby.
Big way to show up for him. I thought he provided some of the big boosts to the offense and moving the chains in moments where they desperately needed it. So I was quite impressed with Lance Mason today.
Totally fair. Love that pick. Lance Mason, Joe Brunner with the extracurriculars, our red hots of the game. For me, my ice cold, we've given Jeff Grimes a lot of credit today for the game plan, and rightfully so. I thought he called a very good game. However, throwing inside screens, that's my ice cold today. He tried it several times. The timing just was never there. Danny O'Neal either had someone in his grill, or the blocking didn't set up right, or right before the half, which made this game way more interesting than it needed to be. The offensive lineman didn't get out of the way of, I believe it was Darian Dupree, who was supposed to be the receiving back. It was the intended target on that screen. Hit him in the hands. However, his hands hit the butt of the lineman. I believe it was Kerry Konenko right in front of him. Inside screens just not working today for Jeff Grimes and the Badgers offense. That's my ice cold. Mr. DiMaggio, what you got?
I've been tossing this one around. Can I just ice cold the whole Badgers team?
The entire team. Give me your reasoning.
I mean, they were in a dogfight with the 136th ranked team out of 136 teams, Middle Tennessee State, for a half of football and well into the third quarter. It took a big stop on 4th down for things to finally change their way. I'm just sick and tired of watching this style of ball. I don't think we can say it enough. You gotta look better against Middle Tennessee State. That the lack of talent and the talent disparity is so vast that it was an embarrassing first half to watch, and I was embarrassed to be spending my Saturday, a beautiful Saturday, on
it was
the
gorgeous
couch watching that.
I hate to say that I don't disagree. That first half was ugly. I do disagree. I don't I don't think you should give the entire team the ice cold, because they did turn it on in the second half and ended up destroying Middle Tennessee State. But yes, that first half was ugly. I don't disagree that it was embarrassing to watch in the first half.
Can I give an ice cold to 60-minute football games? If we did 30, maybe we'd have a better chance of winning them.
Maybe you're onto something there. Maybe you're onto something. We just cut this game in half. We start in the second half. We're good to go. Badgers would be the best team in football. We'd be a dynasty at this point under Luke Fickell. That was our red-hot ice cold of the game. Starion Bank, a proud partner of ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day. Experience a banking relationship where your goals are their priority. As a community bank with a commitment to Dane County, Starion Bank redefines local banking in the Madison area. Visit one of their convenient branches in Middleton, Sun Prairie, or Monona today, or online at starionbank.com. Our Chalmers Jewelers drive of the game and our final thoughts as we wrap up the show next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light.
Post-game reaction continues next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, presented by Coors Light.
For your next night out, revel in the fusion of artistry and flavor with Sushi at St. Kate, offering guests an elevated experience where freshness and creativity converge in every bite. St. Kate the Arts Hotel introduces an exciting new sushi menu to its culinary repertoire. Indulge in the finest seafood, freshest ingredients, and expert craftsmanship for an inspired and delectable dining journey. Experience the art of sushi at St. Kate and learn more at stkatearts.com.
Get ready to say goodbye to those bland seltzers at the ballpark. Carbless is proudly Wisconsin-born, crafted by real people. A husband and wife team who wanted better cocktails in a can. They're locally made and blissfully better. Carbless offers a bold, true cocktail flavor that's made for baseball fans. Available in fan-favorite flavors like lemon lime, black raspberry, cranberry, and mango, bringing the craft cocktail bar to your seat. Refreshment that matches the energy of American Family Field is Carbless. Full of flavor, no sugar, and no carbs. Just game day bliss.
At Citizens Bank, we believe banking is more than transactions. It's about being recognized and remembered. It's feeling like you're understood and supported along the way. It's the small stuff that says, we know you. Because when your bank gets you, banking just feels better. Citizens Bank. Bank where you belong. Learn more at citizensbankwi.bank/belong. Citizens Bank is member FDIC.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here, and the Pickler Menominee Falls is now open. Your home for pickleball. 9 premium indoor courts with unlimited play, leagues, tournaments, and clinics all included in your membership. Sign up today for open play spots or check out Learn to Play sessions and clinics. Members get 4 clinics a month included. Memberships start at just $119 a month. Check out all the options at thepickler.com. That's PICKLR.com. And I'll see you on the court.
Grand slams and walk-offs. If you haven't jumped on the bandwagon by now, what are you waiting for? Siding Unlimited is Milwaukee's very own national champions. That's right, Siding Unlimited installs windows, and we do it really well, earning the prestigious Pella Platinum Premier National Certified Contractor of the Year award 5 times. New windows? Our expert team will deliver on a smooth, hassle-free installation, making you feel proud of calling Siding Unlimited for your window project. What's the next step? Call 262-567-4513 or go to sidingunlimited.com.
This summer, your wishes take center stage at WishFest at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Play your favorite games with your Potawatomi Rewards card all summer for over $1 million in prizes and earn entries into the WishFest prize drawings on Friday, September 26th. Your entries from July, August, and September all count. Plus, 5 lucky winners will have their ultimate wish granted. Wish big, win big. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Hey, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. Build a customized renter's policy with American Family Insurance so you can protect your tandem bike on the go. Thief! Oh, he is struggling with that two-seater. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Some exclusions may apply. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen. Tune into the Rich Eisen Show weekdays from 12 to 2, right here on 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day Postgame Show wraps up. Riley Jauch here live at Liberty Station. They've been fantastic today. The food at a shrimp po' boy, absolutely superb. Cannot recommend Liberty Station enough. Josh DiMaggio back at the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all studios at the Avenue in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Looking for a reliable roofing and home restoration company in Wisconsin? Badgerland Exteriors is here to help. Residential and commercial roofing, siding, and solar, Badgerland Exteriors has you covered. Visit badgerlandexteriors.com to get started today on your next project. Speaking of the Badgers, 42-10 winners over the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders today. Some negative energy coming from this post-game show. Trying to end it on a positive note here. Let's take a look at our Chalmers Jewelers drive of the game. All right, let's straight into our Chalmers Jewelers drive of the game. And for me, I'll go first here, Josh. I think for me, we talked about it a little bit. We heard Luke Fickell talk about the defensive stop that led to this drive. Defense came up with a big stop on fourth down. Badgers only led 14-10 in the third quarter, and it was starting to get to the middle of the third quarter. But then, big turnover on downs, and the Badgers strike in just 2 plays. Big run from Dupree, and Trech Kakahuna, 61-yard TD scamper to the house. Emerson Mandel with a great block. Shout out to him as well. That is my drive of the game. That set the tone for the rest of the half. The Badgers ripped off 3 more touchdown drives, and then they had the rough fumble on a bad snap that hit JT Seagraves in the butt, but that was the backup, so I'm not too worried about that. 3 straight TDs after that touchdown drive. That's my drive of the game. How about you, Josh?
I think I have to go back to the first drive of that half and the fourth down stop that we got from Christian Allegro. They were kind of running out the clock there. It looked like they were going down to score, and just to get the good fortune of the reversed play there, the first down that they were given, and then to stand up stout and sort of start the Badgers on the path to the victory. Middle Tennessee State did not score again after that. They frankly didn't move the ball a whole lot after that point, and that was sort of what gave us all what we're looking at now when it comes to the final score. So shout out to the defense, who at times looked weak, looked porous, looked like they were kind of lost at times. Able to step up big there, get a fourth down stop, and put the Badgers on the path to victory.
All right. Thank you, Joshy. Those were our Chalmers Jewelers drives of the game. Men, if you want to score, make sure to head over to Chalmers Jewelers. They have a location in Middleton and Madison. I'm pretty far away from needing to head over to Chalmers Jewelers, but I'm sure a lot of you listening out there could benefit. Chalmers Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison. All right, Josh, as we wrap up, we've been over our positives, but there's been a lot of frustration, resentment towards Luke Fickell, the slow starts, even in year 3. Just the game itself seems to be playing a familiar script. Start slow, end up coming back and winning, and no one feels too great. But one thing that we haven't touched on yet, that I think is actually important, even against an inferior opponent. The clock management today was fantastic by Luke Fickell on the offensive side of the ball, and defense really on the offensive side of the ball, but no penalties.
That's huge. What did you think of not calling a timeout on that drive before half?
See, that's the one area I think you could point where they could have done something there. I don't mind it. I think really they should have just taken a knee before that, just go into halftime. Like, why are you running a play again? Yes. Just go into the locker room. You're going to be down 14-10 anyways. Sure, you could have called a timeout after he almost busted off a huge run, Dylan Jones, but I think that's pretty minor overall compared to last week. Clock management was stellar, and for the first time since 2016, the Badgers played a game with no penalties. And I think moving forward, playing clean football is something that will pay major dividends against the brunt of the schedule, especially next week against the Crimson Tide. Big positive for me that we haven't touched on yet.
Yeah, that is a thing that I guess I didn't even really notice. I'm glad you mentioned that. That's fairly remarkable, and discipline has been a thing that we've talked about in the past about the Badgers. So staying out, because, getting a single penalty, like just even a bad call. They were challenging the defense at times with deep passes, so to not get any pass interferences, anything, not even procedural stuff. And, you've got a guy who started in his first game for you. He has started in the past. He did start last year. But Danny O'Neal and, running on offense, I'm sure the game plan wasn't the same game plan they would have had Billy Edwards Jr. been in there. So to me, that is a huge positive and probably something you need to harp on and keep focusing on, because if you lose yards and you give up a bunch of penalties to Alabama, that's a great way for them to dig the knife even deeper on you.
Yeah, if they play the way they did in the first half against Alabama and tack on penalties, it's going to be a long day in Tuscaloosa. But, Josh, your final thoughts as the Badgers defeat Middle Tennessee 42-10 and a massive trip next week to the 21st ranked team in the land, the Alabama Crimson Tide. How are you feeling?
I've vacillated on this, and I've been thinking about how I wanted to end this program. I do want to give credit to Jeff Grimes, to the young quarterback, the second stringer who stepped in and ultimately led the Badgers to a 32-point victory. I also think everybody on the team should be embarrassed and ashamed of what happened in that first half. I think there's a lot of work to be done, and I am desperately begging this Badgers team to finally go out there one of these times and beat a team that they shouldn't. Make it happen. I don't care if you need trick plays, you need fake punts, fake field goals. I want to see all the stops pulled out, because I feel like we're getting towards a point of desperation. I'm not saying Luke Fickell's going to lose his job. I'm not saying he's not going to get another year, but we need to instill some confidence and get rid of all the apathy. And apathy is the way to describe how I can describe a lot of my friends and a lot of the people I talk to, my family, who are all Badgers fans, have watched all the games. Get rid of the apathy and instill some of that passion that we know all these fans here. We see it with the Brewers. We see it with the Packers, and we used to see it with the Badgers all the time. So bring back the passion and go out and win one of these big games and show us that this is working and the Badgers are moving in the right direction.
Darn right. That was a fantastic way to end this show, Josh. I will not be here next week. I will be down in Tuscaloosa watching the Badgers do battle with the Alabama Crimson Tide. And since I won't be on air next week, I want you personally, Joshy, to know, and all our listeners out there, I have been harping on the Badgers are going to upset Bama all offseason, the first week of the season, and even with the struggles in the first half today, I am not backing off my take. The Badgers will defeat Alabama next week. They will pull off the upset. They will get that first big win under Luke Fickell. No matter who's at quarterback, no matter who's at offensive line, even with the struggles of our cornerbacks and the successes of our wide receivers, next week is the week. Badgers fans, mark your calendar. It's going to be a big one. For Josh DiMaggio, Back in the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios in Milwaukee for our amazing part-timers, Alyssa and Sarah, here at Liberty Station with myself. My name is Riley Jauch. Thank you so much for tuning in. God bless you all. On Wisconsin, the Badgers, 42-10 winners over Middle Tennessee State today. They take on the Tide, Alabama, next week. Corey Sparks and Jesse Nelson will take you then. For now, once again, I'm Riley Jauch. Thank you for listening. This has been ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light.
Post-game reaction continues